Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to make cute and simple pajamas for a stuffed animal. They're perfect for the winter and are made using only upcycled fabrics. Now let's get started! The materials you'll need are some pins, scissors, your fabrics. This is snowflake print material that was cut off of actual pajama pants, and this white fabric is one of my dad's old worn out t-shirts. You'll also need some ribbon instead of an elastic, and I wanted to add a design to my plain white shirt, so I grabbed some fabric paint. And you'll also need your patterns. Here are the measurements I used for a Build-A-Bear, but I'll also have printable versions linked below. Next, I'm going to work on my pants, so I have 2 rectangles of this snowflake material, and I need 2 of the same pieces that are mirror images of each other, so I have them laid bad side to bad side, and then I'm just going to place my pattern on top and pin through both layers and then cut them out. Like I said before, these were trimmed off of the bottom of my grandma's pants because they're too long on her, but if you don't have fabric scraps like these lying around, you could always use whatever fleece or soft fabric you want. After both pieces are cut out, I'm going to separate them and now fold up the bottom edge of each one. This fabric doesn't fray much, so I'm just going to fold over the bottom once and then pin it in place, and I'm going to do that all the way down and repeat that for the other one. And these will actually be the only 2 pieces you need for the pants. And after this, I'm going to do a straight stitch along the bottom edge. After both bottom edges are hemmed, I'm going to flip them good side to good side. And as you can see, the curve on one of the sides is a lot deeper than the other, so that's the one I have on the left here. And I'm going to pin those 2 curves together, and then I'm going to do a straight stitch all the way up the curve. After sewing that, I'm going to lay it flat, and now I need to make the cuts where the ribbon is going to come out and get tied in place. So the way I found out where to make these cuts is I first fold over the top edge about 1 inch, and then I fold it over a little bit more and then make a small cut, and that way when the top edge is folded over, the cut should start at the top of that fold and go down about 1/2 inch. And I made sure to make the cut 1 inch away from the curved part of the piece. After both openings are made, I can now fold over the top edge, and I'm leaving enough space for my ribbon, and then I'm just going to pin it down all along the top. And then I'm going to do a straight stitch right where I pinned. After that, we can add our ribbon, but first I need to find out how long the ribbon needs to be. To do this, I'm just going to wrap this around my stuffed animal, and then just tie it like I'd tie a normal bow if this were on the pants. And once I have the bow the size I like, I'll just trim off the extra ribbon and you'll have the perfect size. So now I'm going to attach a safety pin to the end of mine, which I always do to make it easier to push through. And then I'm just going to push it through this top loop, and I'm going to make sure to enter through those cuts we made earlier. After the ribbon's all the way through, I'm going to fold it good side to good side, and now we're going to sew the 2 curves together, but I don't want to trap the ribbon inside, so I'm just tucking it inside and away from the curves. And that way the ribbon will still stick out in the final pants. And now I'm just going to pin these curves together and do a straight stitch following the curve. After that, I'm going to kind of open this piece up and fold the pants in half, so now they look like pants. And now I'm going to line up these 2 short pieces, and then I'm just going to pin them in place and then sew a straight line across. And after that, the pajama pants are finished. So they look really wide because we haven't tied the ribbon, but I'm going to try this on my stuffed animal. And it's really loose right now, but then you can just pull on the ribbon and that'll gather the material, and then you can just tie it like you tie a normal bow, and there you go. And now, moving on to the shirt, I'm going to grab my dad's old shirt, which is a really thin white nightshirt, and I'm just going to cut this up the side to make it easier to deal with. And as you can see, there's tons of holes in it, and so I'm just going to lay it flat to cut out my pieces. And you can really use whatever material and color you want for this. Now I'm going to grab my piece number 4, and this is going to be the front of the top, and so I'm just going to pin it on 1 layer of fabric because I only need 1 of these, and then I'm just going to cut it out. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the other pieces. Piece number 5 is the back of the shirt, so I'm just cutting out 1 layer of that, and this was actually pretty difficult to cut out because of how thin and stretchy this material is. But then I can move on to the sleeves, and since I need 2 of these, I'm just going to fold my cloth in half first and then cut it out. So I switched to the whale background so you could see the fabric more easily. And now I'm going to take my front piece and fold over the bottom edge twice, but you can fold it over just once if you find that's easier to sew. And after this, I'm going to do a straight line across the bottom edge. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing to my back piece. Now I'm going to fold over along the neckline to give it a clean edge. So I'm just going to pin right around there, and this can be a little tricky, but you can always make small cuts to ease the tension. And this is very similar to how I made my basic stuffed animal t-shirt video, except it does not have a collar because I found most pajama shirts don't have a collar, so I'm just folding over the edges of the neckline for this one. I also forgot to mention I switched to a smaller stitch, and that's to make it easier and neater to sew around curves. Now I'm going to flip the pieces good side to good side, or at least have the folded edges facing out. And then I'm going to pin the tops of the pieces together, and you don't really have to do this, but I do it anyway, and I'm just going to do 2 straight lines across the top of each. After that, we can move on to our sleeves. So I'm going to grab my 2 sleeve pieces and first fold up the bottom edge. Then I'm just going to pin this in place and repeat it to the other one, and then do a straight stitch along the bottoms. After that, we can finally attach the sleeves to the shirt. So I'm just going to lay out my shirt piece, and I have the good side facing up, and then I'm going to lay the sleeves good side facing down, and I'm just going to find the center point and start in the middle because that's easiest for me. And so I'm just going to pin them in place like this and continue pinning them good side to good side around the curves. Then I'm going to repeat this to the other side, and it's completely normal to have extra hanging off. Now I'm going to sew them together with a straight stitch. After that, we can flip the t-shirt in half, still good side to good side, and now I'm going to pin together the sides because now I'm going to just sew the sides and the bottom of the sleeves together. So after pinning them together, I'm going to do a straight stitch in kind of an upside down L shape, and that will close up the shirt. After that, I'm just going to trim off the extra, and you're pretty much done with your shirt, but I wanted to add a design, so I wanted to paint on just a snowflake to match the pants. So I'm just turning this inside out, and I just wanted to show you the snowflake on the pants that I'm going to be trying to recreate. And then I'm going to place a piece of cardboard inside so that when I paint, it doesn't bleed onto the back of the shirt. So I'm just going to be using a dark blue fabric paint, but you could also use regular paint. And I was right about to start painting when I realized I should probably have some sort of guide or a sketch first. So I tried going in with pencil and sketching it out, which you can't see at all on camera, but it was good enough for me, and I just started painting from that. So I'm just trying to copy this snowflake that my hand is currently covering, but I thought it was really pretty, and I hoped it would kind of unite the pants with the shirt. So I've sped this up a lot so it looks like I'm painting really fast, but this actually took a really long time. So if you want to try this, make sure to take your time with it, and I'm sure it'll turn out great. And again, this step is optional. Of course, you don't have to do a snowflake. You can paint whatever you think would go with the pants, or just whatever design you want for the shirt. After copying the snowflake from the pants, I thought the inside was a little empty, so I just added a few lines in the center to fill it out. After that, just let it dry, and the pajamas are done. So I'm going to try this on my stuffed animal, and this completes your final pajama set. This is the perfect cozy outfit for winter if you just want to lay around with your stuffed animal and relax. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time.